What is the Patriot Act turning into?
The administration worked with a group to designate
They were
this is building. Can you
on for a long time.
been going on for a while? It popped up on my radar for
How to pop up on your radar? 'Cause it's been going on for a long time.
been going on for a while. It popped up on my radar for when I was doing an episode about 33 Thomas Street, which is the Long Lines building.
What are you talking about?
But
The what building?
The Long Lines building. It's the AT&T Long Lines building, 33 Thomas Street, New York, codenamed Titan Point. And it
When the hell did AT&T get code names? When did AT&T get code names? Gotta be military or government. It's not AT&T.
New Yorkers will know
They
this
are
building.
not
It's the
that
weirdest
deep.
building you'll ever see. It has no windows, just has exhaust vents. It's no lights. So when it's nighttime in the city, you've got all the lights on the skyline, and you just got this void for 32 Thomas. It's a very strange building, and all you hear is the exhaust. And the lobby looks normal until you get up kind of close, and it's like, wow, there's a lot of security here, and you can't get in there. So it's codenamed
So how do you know about it?
Titan Point, which we learned from the Edward Snowden documents.
Look at Hecklefish.
And it turned out that this is one of the
Look at
facilities,
Hecklefish.
one of several, but this is a big one that was
Look at
capturing
Hecklefish.
all of our phone calls. You know, they talk about, well, it's just metadata, but metadata is enough because metadata includes who you're calling, what time, where they are, your location, so you could be totally tracked. And it
24-hour surveillance. What somebody is pushing for, which I voted for.
helps them create that network, which the Patriot Act allows, where if you're a person of interest, anyone you communicate with is automatically a person of interest. And it just is a geometric progression. So when I was doing that episode, I was really just wanted to cover the weird building.
Patriot Act was a domino effect, and we didn't know it.
And, you know, what NSA was doing there, capturing the records. And it just started to get emotional because whenever I can, I just play James Clapper line of Congress that NSA is not capturing millions or hundreds of millions of Americans' records. And he says, no, sure, no, sir, we're not, you know, intentionally or something like that. And then later he says, well, I told the most truthful, you know, least truthful, whatever it was. And then eventually had to apologize because the Snowden documents revealed they're capturing everything. So it's not just metadata. They were doing whole capture of phone calls, all kinds of stuff. NSA was embedded inside of Google and Yahoo and Microsoft so that everything on like your Google Drive was accessible. If you look at the PowerPoint, the engineers are so excited they have like emojis and smiley faces, like we got it, we finally got into Google. So that was probably the first episode that got me really thinking, okay, every so often I'm going to do a government corruption, government transparency.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Someone's got to keep them in check, but YouTubers ain't the one. But that's a good idea. But YouTubers are not gonna keep them in check. But that's a great idea.
Episode. Try to make it fun, but the point is, do not trust them. They're constantly lying to us. And there's no regard to the Constitution at all. Now, the Patriot Act, for me, it's kind of weird because I'm a New Yorker. I was there for 9/11, and it's very emotional for New Yorkers that were there. Still very emotional. I had a friend who was a fireman there as part of cleanup, and he was a broken man after that, just completely broken. And my brother had friends in one of the towers that came down.
7.
So it's close to us. So I remember I was all in with whatever we got to do to get these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Patriot Act, let's do it. But
you got finessed.
we kind of expanded the government's powers a lot.
I ain't even gonna say what the government does, but you give them a scare, they give you more hold on them than they normally would in order for you to defend them more than you normally should have to, and then you have more control over your population.
there. And it seemed like it happened pretty quickly. So you've got 9/11, and the Patriot Act is signed, I think, like October 16th or 20. Like it was like 4-6 weeks that they got kind of hanging around. Like, and here's an opportunity to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads into the 9/11 conspiracy, which kind of makes sense, which I don't go into on my show.
Why don't you go into that?
Because it's a
That's what I
taboo
was gonna
topic,
ask.
and it's emotionally charged, and the bad guys are the government, and if we learn that 9/11 really was an inside job, I don't know how that doesn't really challenge your patriotism. Now, I consider myself a patriot. I love my country. I don't like the people that run it.
I get you, but
I like the
I wanna
Constitution and the
know,
Bill of Rights. I really like those. And I'm very libertarian.
why do you, how do I say that? You question some things by the government, but you don't question others? I'm questioning it all, every bit of it, because shoot, shoot, all of it seems like it's the GOV's fault. That's me. That's me. That's me.
Borderline anarchist
Not.
in a political sense, not like craziness, meaning like
I don't like it.
I don't think we need
That's
much
what you
government for anything. Keep us safe
And
abroad.
you do. We still need a government. We just need a solid government. Let me just say that up front. Look at New York. Look at Chirac. Look at Missouri, Kansas, anywhere that's got a hood, bro. Because every state has a hood. California, the overdosing in California, the people just in their slump. I don't even need to run on.
Domestically, keep it local. That's kind of how I feel. I think the federal government's way too involved in our lives in every different level.
I'm with you.
But the Patriot Act
That is valid. The federal,
violates the First Amendment in a few different ways.
let the local be
You know,
local,
free speech is gone. So
the state be
if
state.
you
Maybe that,
say anything that's considered dangerous or explosive, suddenly you're on a list, and then
that's true.
you can be gag ordered. So that's prior restraint. You can't do that. Then you've got the Fourth Amendment violations, where illegal search and seizure. You can't search through Americans without probable cause. You just can't. But the Patriot Act says you no longer need probable cause. You just need to be relevant. So if you're relevant to an investigation, then we don't need a warrant. We can just look into your files. And this gets renewed time and time again. So it's not a left-right Democrat Republican. They just keep, these are sunset clauses that keep getting re-signed. I forget the numbers offhand, but 215 is certainly one of them. And the Patriot Act is mostly used for finding drug dealers. It's not really used for terrorism. It never really was. We don't really know if it ever stopped anything. And then, the IC and the government will say, well, you don't know because we can't tell you, but we stopped this or that. Well, but did you though? At some point you have to tell us if it worked, because we need to decide if we still want to do this.
Are you saying it just ain't work because you say so, or because like they ain't say the names, but they said we stopped 5 people that did this? Crucial information.
Because you're encroaching on a First Amendment right, our Fourth, our Fifth Amendment, due process, habeas corpus. And I thought this was just supposed to be for like foreign agents. But now if an American is on the phone with someone who's a foreign national, now this American is wrapped up in the Patriot Act. When what should happen is as soon as who's ever surveil foreigners all you want. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Leave my citizens alone. So as soon as you find out, well, all right, this person of interest is on the phone with an American, well, then it stops. Now we have to bring this out of the Patriot Act and put it into our legal system and have a judge look at it and all of that. Not a FISA court rubber stamp, where FISA is like 99.97%. Just get yes, go, whatever you got to do. That's another violation of separation of powers. You have no oversight. It just seems like, doesn't seem like it's what it is.
It's interesting too, because if they were doing that with
You
all
don't think
the
they are?
just one aspect, all the mass shootings that are happening, if they were really surveilling everybody, don't you think those people maybe have had some type of communication or I mean it's been proven, right? There's been things on Facebook, there's been things on Instagram that if they're on there, they're definitely in text messagings
Yep.
and voice calls and all of that stuff. Unless they want that stuff to happen, maybe they do calls. They're on there, they're definitely in and maybe
During the Biden administration, remember you had all these parents that were protesting about whatever trans issues or whatever they were. I'm not interested in that. Believe what you want to believe on that issue. That's none of my business. What I care about is the administration worked with a group to write a letter to the president to designate these Americans as potential domestic terrorists and use the Patriot Act to surveil them and gather records on them and look into them. We can't have that. I don't know why there was an outrage over that. Is
Exactly like I was saying earlier, they throw one thing in your face, get you all worked up about one thing, and they do something under the table.
these are Americans from the jump, so the Patriot Act shouldn't apply, but it does, and no one really challenges it. Um, it all goes back to Snowden because they lied and lied and lied, and then the Snowden documents it was just such a bombshell. But not only are they collecting all this stuff, I mean, all of us, every single one of us, but they were in our files. They can read our email. They can, our search history, everything about us.
Yeah.
Where if if I'm charged with something and you use the Patriot Act against me, my first thing would be like, well, it's all inadmissible. I'm an American citizen. I have Fourth Amendment right. You didn't have probable cause. Let me see the warrant. Let me see the affidavit. What judge did you use? Well, we use the FISA judge. Well, with the FISA reviews are done in complete secrecy. There's no transparency.
Pfizer or Pfizer?
No one can. You can't sit in on those. You can't wander into the courtroom like you can in most towns here and just watch proceedings. Political enemies. That
it was a church committee.
that was reviewing. It came to light during the church committee, and that made Congress realize, oh, they're using FBI and to actually go after political enemies. We can't have that. So we'll have FISA, which will review these. But then FISA starts to get abused. And then when the Patriot Act comes along in 2001, it supercharges FISA. And now everything is just rubber stamped. And we don't know really what they're doing with it. We just know they renew it. And whether it's Trump or Biden or Obama, they sign with the pen and there's applause and America's going to be safe. And I don't know if there's any evidence of that. Out of that time, we got the TSA. I think the TSA is just in the way.
Go to any airport, check the TSA. Yeah, we need it. But if you look behind 9/11, we need it for the reasons that they're not presenting. One, two, I don't think that's the way we need it or the extent we need it. It's not it's not hitting how it should be.
I think in 2015 they sent they were called red teams to test the TSA, like secret shop them, and they created mock weapons and mock explosives. Take a guess at what percentage got through.
Oh man.
95.
15.
Are you serious?
95% got through.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan.
95%? Yo, TSA a joke, bro. But me or you goes up in there, shh. Put your hands on the ground, put your hands on the ground, put your hands on the ground. You can't fly, you can't fly. Like, comment, subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all showing love. Y'all always show me love so I can show y'all love. Peace.